Well, Kunal, the seventh season of Big Bang Theory finished up in May, and boy, this season, in the past, you had so much trouble talking to girls and women and young ladies, but at one point you were juggling two different ladies this year.
I know, Raj is now the beast that has lived inside Raj for 6 seasons has finally come out. I'm not sure that's a good thing, but it is. He's finally, gotten over his selective mutism, which as an actor has been really fun because now I can be in big scenes with people, and instead of thinking about everything I was going to say or whispering it into Wolowitz's ear, I can actually say it. I'm not sure that's a good thing, but but it's been really, really fun season for me.
Oh, since the beginning of entertainment, that's been one of the most fun things to do is for a character to juggle two different relationships.
Yes, exactly. I thought, and also it was really wonderful playing with Laura and Kate because they had such different personalities, and I felt with Lucy, Raj really wanted to protect her and take care of her. Whereas with Laura's character, she is the one who's sort of taking care of Raj, and it was really fun to play both those energies on set and in scenes.
Well, that's a tribute to the writers, and we talked to Jim Parsons earlier this week. We were talking about the writing staff and how some writing staffs might have decided that Raj is a certain type of girl and they're both going to be similar, but here they made them totally different.
Yes, listen, everyone knows that the success of our show has been because of our writers, and we blindly trust them. Wherever they're going, we just trust them, and they have never, ever really led anyone astray. And so we are so blessed to be in a position where every week that I get the script, I open it and I read it. It's like Christmas. I'm so excited still, 7 years in, to read a script every week because the writing is so phenomenal.
Well, one thing he was saying about this writing staff that you have, and especially with the leaders that you have, is that they know exactly when to make moves. You don't keep the characters static like some. Even sitcoms you and I both have liked our whole lives. Sometimes the characters never really change, but here they do make changes. They're not big changes. They're not fast moving, but they're incremental.
100%. And I think that, especially with this show, with these characters, they've never been one to make big changes in their life quickly. They're sort of very comfortable. They've always been very comfortable in their group of people, in the nerd culture, or in their group of friends. They've always felt comfortable. The outside world has been very scary for them. To see these characters evolve slowly and sort of adjust to so-called the real world or the outside world has really been a very, I think, heartwarming and touching journey.
Well, that brings up a good point. I mean, if these were real people, if you were looking at this as a real situation, you are Raj, what would he have done if he had never met Howard and Sheldon and Leonard?
That's a very, very good question. I don't know. I think that maybe he would have gone into a hole and killed himself. I don't know. I think that for all of these guys, their dependence on each other is so paramount because that's all they had. Everything in the outside world was scary, but what these guys had together was safe. So Raj, having met Howard and then subsequently meeting the guys, really became his family away from home. And that's what I think for all of these guys, if you look at their families are kind of sort of overbearing and slightly scary, and I think that these guys came together and found a family within themselves, and I think that's really been the success of their bromance, is that they really need each other.
One thing at the very end of the previous season was Raj was so broken up, and even without alcohol, he's visiting the girls on the show, and just is talking nonstop for the first time ever, and they're all like, "Boy, I wish, can we ever get him to shut up now?"
Yeah, that's, like I said, that's been a really fun transition for me to play because I feel like the first 5 seasons I was doing a lot of physical comedy, and the last 2 seasons, a lot of my comedy has been sort of some of the other fun stuff is I've got to play a really vulnerable side to Raj. Not that the vulnerable side didn't exist, it's just I never really got to interact with women without the false bravado of alcohol. So that as an actor has been a real joy. And the writers have done such a wonderful job bringing out Raj's really, you know, romantic or vulnerable side without being cheesy. You get to see there's a real person, there's a real boy behind all of his false bravado.
Well, and in addition to his day job as an astrophysicist, he might be on the way to becoming a party planner, right? After some of the episodes over the last couple of seasons.
That was really fun. Like, that he's got that sort of murder mystery dinner party, loves planning and cooking, and sort of his metrosexual side, has been really fun to sort of explore. Yeah, who knows? I'm so excited for season 8. I can't wait to go back to work.
Well, let's talk about two of those parties. You mentioned the murder mystery party. That was very fun. Tell us about shooting that episode and working on that one.
See, that was really fun because what came first, I believe, was the treasure hunt. I think that was the episode we shot before the murder mystery dinner party. And the real fun about shooting the treasure hunt was every take I got bigger and bigger and bigger until, Chuck and the writers were just like, just go for it. Be as big and insane and for me that moment was great because Raj, it wasn't over the top anything. You could actually see Raj getting so excited about planning this for his friends, because he loves his friends and he wants them to have a good time. So first we shot that episode and that was great because I just completely let loose. And then when it came to the murder mystery dinner party, I already had that as a sort of as a backbone to play off of, that this is sort of Raj's thing. When he plans these big parties, he also brings the theatrics with the lights and the music and and getting Stewart to play dead the whole time. I mean, it's with him and it's really fun, man, to be able to completely let go without worrying about how you're coming across, or am I acting over the top, or am I acting too big? Just trusting the writing and getting the green light to completely go there, it's so fun.
Well, that's the key on those kinds of episodes. If you have a party episode or something that's so filled with joy, you can overact it. It really makes it believable because that's how people are at parties and those situations.
True, and I think also that I've had a lot of seasons under my belt playing Raj, so I think if this was an episode in the first season or maybe in the second season, I may have either gone over the top maybe or been too hesitant to try something because I wasn't really comfortable. It takes a while on a show to really become comfortable with playing the character. Well, it did for me. And so having all of the seasons and all of that experience really, I feel like things really clicked for me in season 5 and then of course season 6 and 7. So being able to go there was a very comfortable feeling as opposed to maybe in the beginning years where it may not have been.
Well, the other part of the part of these two party planning episodes is you really see, I mean, we've always known that Sheldon is a control freak. He likes everything a certain way, but now we're seeing that Raj is a real controller as well.
It's so funny. That's exactly how I am in real life. Like, I'm always the one who organizes all the parties, make sure everyone
Me too. That's probably why I relate to Raj so well.
I know, exactly. I relate to it so much. And I'm always the guy at parties giving speeches. And so I think it's a little bit of life imitating art or art imitating life.
Maybe the writers saw that in your real life and decided to incorporate that.
I think so. I think we hang out too much outside of work now because I'm realizing things are bleeding in. Like, I remember when Howard makes fun of Raj's accent and then Raj makes fun of Howard's accent. That's me and Simon getting drinks. That's what was bred out of that. I think after a show we were getting some drinks and the writers were there and we were all having a good time and we started doing this banter thing with each other, and I think that's where that was born from. So I think the writers hear it too.
Well, now that you have played him so long, and you've had a long, some writers have been there a long time. Of course, they incorporate new writers all the time. What are you able to go to them and say, "Oh, I don't think Raj would say that," or "I don't think Raj would do that," or things along those lines?
I think that channel of communication is always open, always, but I haven't found an opportunity. I haven't felt the need to do that because I think they've been so good at nailing it, and they may not. Like in anything, like even with the actors, the writers may not get it right the first day. They might not, our scripts from table read to shooting don't change a lot. They're so tight. The table reads are so tight and so good that And then if there's a joke here and there that's not landing, they'll get it right by Thursday, by Friday, by Monday, by tape night. And sometimes on tape night, a joke won't land. It just happens, you know. Same thing with the actors. In rehearsal, we'll try different things. I might not get the joke right away. I might try it a few times and it won't work. And then hopefully, you know, by Tuesday we'll get it. So it's a very collaborative process like that. Without actually going to the writers and saying, hey, this isn't working, they'll hear it. That's what they're so good at. They'll hear if it's not right and they'll fix it. And vice versa, they'll give me notes if I'm not getting something right, and hopefully I'll have the ability to fix it as well.
Well, other than the ones we've talked about, was there another episode or another storyline this year that you really enjoyed?
I think, you know, the episode where I'm struggling with dating two girls at the same time because I think it's immoral, and all of my friends are like, just do it, who cares, you know? And that scene when I go with Laura in the restaurant, we're on this date, and I'm nervous, and I didn't get it right in rehearsal at all. Even on Tuesday night in front of the live audience, I did one take, and it just didn't work. And then Chuck came up to me and gave me some advice, and I remember just completely getting it right after that, where I was so, instead of trying to be funny, which is a trap you can fall into in this genre of comedy, I really just believed he was genuinely conflicted. And if I really just focused on that and trusted the language and trusted the moment, that it'll all work out. And that was a big acting moment for me in that scene with Laura, where I just let go and I say, I'm sorry, I can't do this. Just telling the woman you're on a date with, I'm sorry, I can't do this, but my ex-girlfriend called me, and I'm, you know, I just felt completely vulnerable in front of her. And that was a really wonderful moment for me.
We have a lot of people in the chat room. I want to just mention some of their names, and a lot of them are just saying love you, how much they love the season. Props to the writers. It's people like Chloe and Notch Incorporated, the Bazing Cast, and several others.
Lovely. Well, hi to everyone. Thank you for joining us.
And several of them are saying, love the murder mysteries, have more of those next year.
All right.
So you pass that along to the writers.
I will.
You know, coming off of a 7th season, I can't remember a show that has been so popular with the public and with the critics as much as this one's, it's probably since Friends. I think Friends might have been the last one that had that combination. You've had shows that have been really Emmy popular and critically popular, like 30 Rock and The Office, some of those, but they weren't as popular with the public. And then, of course, you had shows like your, you know, 2.5 Men from your same creator that were popular with the public, but not necessarily with the critics. So I say all that to say, last year the Critics' Choice Awards, you're there, and you get to go up on stage along with Johnny and accept for Best Comedy Series.
You know, that's always been. It was really wonderful when we won, because to be honest, we never win anything other than obviously Jim, who is, you know, without, you know, we know he's a genius. He's, I think, one of the greatest actors on television, and will go down as one of the greatest actors to have ever lived on television. So that was really cool. It was a surprise because you know, we go to the Golden Globes and we go to the Emmys and we go to the SAG Awards and we go to the Critics' Choice, and we never win. So when we won, it was a genuine surprise and shock, and you know, it was really a wonderful moment. And yes, it's lovely to be critically acclaimed as well and have the fans like our show. But the truth is, I'm not sure the last time a multi-camera show even won an Emmy or a Globe. Maybe Raymond?
You know, a lot of people, and not me, but not, you know, not people in the know, but you know, some critics, they just look down their noses at these the 3-camera, 4-camera audience kinds of shows.
Yeah, you know, if you look at, let's say, that is always the case, because if you look at the past with 30 Rock and The Office and Modern Family and even Parks and Recreation or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, they're all really funny and wonderful shows, but the multi-camera shows really just don't factor in at all, except for Big Bang, that does luckily get nominated. But you're right, I don't understand that stigma. You know, I don't understand it. But I would, to be honest, just having the ratings that we do and having the fan following that we do makes all of it worth it. You know, just having the people that love our show, whether it's a 7-year-old boy to an 80-year-old grandmother, we have such a diaspora of demographic such a large demographic of people that love our show, that I'm constantly humbled and touched and surprised. So I'll take that over the awards any day.
Well, you people watching this later on will know whatever happened, but that is tonight. And last year, Simon couldn't be there. He wins for Best Supporting Actor. You go up and accept the prize. Now, did you keep that at your house, or did you ever give that award to him?
You know, I kept it at my house very safely because I wanted to give it to him because he was out of the country at the time. And then I just laid in my house for 6 to 7 months, and I kept forgetting to bring it to him. And then one day I surprised him, and I gave it to him, and obviously he was touched. And I should have framed it, but he has enough money; he can pay for that. And so it was cool, man. I mean, like I said, you know, we're such a family, and to see my peers doing well, or someone on my cast winning, or just being nominated, is such a joy for all of us, because we've been through it all together. You know, and it's a true joy. I love my castmates so much, and we really are a family. And yeah, I love them, and I really hope that they continue to win. You know, and Kaylee and Mayim are nominated, and Jim is nominated, and they all deserve to win. And the show, I hope the show wins too.
Well, by the time people see this video, they'll know the results. But Emmy Awards coming up, July 10th, their nominations. We have no doubt the show will be back up for comedy series. And, you know, I mentioned Friends earlier. Friends won, their only one time they won Best Comedy Series was for their 8th season. So it's very, very possible that happens this late in the process.
Well, you know, if it happens, it'll be wonderful. And if it doesn't happen, we'll still have a great night, because it's just, as a young actor, you dream about being there, and then when you're there, it's the best feeling in the world.
What kind of party would that be for the Big Bang folks if they won Best Comedy Series at the Emmys?
It would be you know, every year the Emmys, we're the cast that's always on the dance floor. So I don't know like how it would be any different, except we're all getting older and we all have families now. So we probably party pretty hard for about 35 minutes and then go home to all of our wives and children and husbands, and then get up and come to work the next day. You know. To be honest, it would be lovely to win, because you know, we go a lot every year, and now we just have a feeling that we're not going to win. I mean, I always feel, you know, it's just Modern Family's going to win, or 30 Rock's going to win, and some of the single camera shows. So if we win, it'll be a shock and a surprise to us, and we'd love it. But even if we don't win, we're going to go and have a wonderful time.
Well, it's good to be recognized, even with the nominations. You and I both know, I bet you watch a lot of television. Television right now, I think this is the golden age, not the 50s or the 60s. There's so much good television. So even to be nominated right now is a huge honor.
There is so much talent. I mean, if you look at the supporting comedy actor race, I mean, if you look at those names, it's just to, you know, it's just wonderful. And all of, even the lead actors or the TVs, just to be nominated, you're right, in that category is wonderful. I think the writing is so strong, and the acting is so strong, and even the TV directors are getting fame now. It's just a golden age, 100%. You know, and not only for comedy, for drama. You watch episodes of television, and it's like you're watching movies. You're watching 24 episodes of a movie. To be a part of this community is very humbling, you know, and to be mentioned as a show, and some of the names we've talked about, Modern Family, you know, 30 Rock, The Office, to be even mentioned in that category of shows is truly humbling.
Well, you mentioned directors, and your director, Mark, is so good, and he hasn't been nominated at the Emmys. He's been nominated at the Directors Guild. That is one name I'm hoping to see on July 10th. I think he really deserves to be. I don't know which episode he submitted. I'd have to look back at the ballot, but probably one of those that's very action-filled. And he don't you think he deserves to get in there?
You know, 100%. He is as important to our success as anyone. Chuck, Bill, Steve. You know, having Mark in that category of people would be. It would mean more to me to see him get nominated. You know, I'm so close to him, and he's been so wonderful to us, not only obviously directing the TV shows, but as a mentor and a friend. And he is one of the nicest people and hardworking people in this industry, and I think it is time that he deserves it. But at the same time, it's a very difficult and a very crowded race, and I only wish him the best.
I just looked while you were talking because you and I think are very similar. I couldn't stand it not knowing. He submitted the locomotive episode.
Oh, so good. You know, they built that train on set, and they had people with hydraulics, you know, giving it the motion. And I kept wondering, how is he going to fit 3 or 4 cameras in a set that is built like like this thin, you know? How can you fit 4 cameras this way or that way? It was so fun just to watch him do that. And that episode was one of my favorite episodes. It was so funny. But kudos to him, and I hope that they finally recognize all of his hard work, because, you know, directing with 4 cameras is also difficult.
That's
You know?
right. It's what the industry was built on, was this type of sitcom way back to I Love Lucy.
Yes. So I hope people give him his due.
Listen, we really appreciate your time. This is one of our treats every summer to get to talk to you. Good luck with the 8th season coming up when you go back to work.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you guys next year.